So then we are going to look at question number 22 of August 2023. Let me share the screen so that we can look at that question. So the question is here. So the question says that.
Excuse me, Mwalimu.
Yes.
I was of the opinion that we should attempt another question, given that this one is.
At least of. I can't hear you.
I was of the opinion that we should attempt another question, given that this question is similar to the ones that we have done in the past.
This is similar to the ones that we have done in the past.
I think the only difference here is the question number C.
Okay. Yeah, but I don't think we have computed the present value of annuity. Have we?
Okay. No.
We haven't. So it's still unique. It's still unique. Maybe what we can do, let's quickly go through it, so that we are also able to see how to compute the present value of annuity. And then from there, you can now suggest which question we can do.
Okay.
Hello?
Yes, it's okay.
Okay. All right. So we are told Rizik Limited is considering a project with the following details. We have the initial costs, we have residual value, we have the selling price, we have the variable cost, we have the fixed costs, the number of units sold are this. The project has a useful life of 5 years. The company uses a weighted average cost of capital, and we are told now to compute all these things. So we compute the base net present value, carry out a sensitivity analysis of NPV, assuming an adverse variance of 5% for all the inputs except the project life and the weighted average cost of capital. Prepare an appropriate chart to indicate different NPVs for each. And note that an adverse variance in this case means a decrease in cash inflows or an increase in cash outflows. Okay, so I want us to have the solution here. The solution. And make it bold. Then we are going to have a percentage change. We are going to have a column that we are going to have initial costs. And then we are going to have another one called residual cost or residual value. We're going to have another one called annual units sold. Annual units sold or sales. We are going to have another one called selling price. We're going to have another one called variable cost per unit. We're going to have fixed costs. Fixed costs. We will have another one for the project live in years. Project live in years. We are going to have total revenue. Total revenue. We are going to have total variable costs. We are going to have contribution. We are going to have net cash flow. Net cash flow. We are going to have present values. Now, present values, we will have for net cash flow. Net cash flow. We will have the residual value. Residual value. Then from there now we shall have net present value. Net present value. This one should have been okay. So when I come to this column here, these annual sales, annual unit sales, I want to call them annual units sold. I want us to call them A. The next column, we call it B. The next column, the next row, we call it C. The fixed cost, we call it D. This is project. Project live, we call it E. Total revenue, we shall get it as A times B, which should give us a figure we shall call F. Total variable cost to be given as A times C, which shall give us a figure we shall call EFGH. You can call it G. Contribution will be F minus G. We can call it K. Net cash flow will be K minus the fixed costs, which is D. We can call it M. So the net present value, we will have the formula. We will have a formula. This one we can call it N. This one we can also call it P. The net present value will be N plus P minus the initial cost. Or the initial cost, I should have called it. Well, now that I forgot to label that, we can call it R. Let's call it R. It's no harm. So minus R. Should have begun with that. Okay. So we come here and get the let's add another row here, which we are going to call solution. And we make it bold. Then this one, we call it inputs. So that now it gives us a space to have the first values. We have the base. We have the base. And now for the scenario analysis, we are told here that all the inputs will change by 5%. So we have the other scenarios. So we can start with the initial cost. We can go to annual units sold. We can go to selling price. We can go to selling price. We can go to variable costs or unit variable costs. Unit variable costs. We have the fixed costs. And then we'll have the residual value. Residual value. Okay. So for the percentage changes, we are told it is going to be advanced. That's what the question here is saying. We are going to have advanced here. So if it is advanced, when costs has an advanced variance, it means it is an increase. So this one is just 0 because it's the base. But then this one will be a positive 0.05. For the annual units, if it is advanced, that means we sell less. So it's going to be minus 0.05. Then for the selling price, when it is advanced, it means the price comes down. So it's also negative. The variable cost advanced means the cost has gone up. Fixed cost, the same case, the cost has gone up. Residual value, if it is advanced, it means we have lost. So it's a negative 0.05. So these ones, you can convert them into percentages. You can convert them into percentages that way. Okay, so let's come here and get the residual values. Residual values. So we can have, let's select these values kutoka hapa. Why it's not? I want to select all these values. My mouse is misbehaving. I want all this. up to that point to have decimals. Yeah, that way. So if you look at the initial value, this residual value was written wrongly. Okay, that's okay. So the initial cost of the project is 40 million. So this one we can say is equals to this one. So we just pick there. And what will happen is when we come here in the initial cost, this is going to increase. It's going to increase. So it's going to be equals to this value here times, open the brackets, 1 plus this cell here, close the brackets, enter. That way. Then the others, because the here is not changing, we just copy the base value here that way, and then we quickly copy there. So there they will not change. Yeah. Oh, sorry, that one has copied wrongly. I want to copy this formula. Why is it? So this one is equal to this copy. Sorry, my mouse is misbehaving. So we copy here. Yeah, so that one is not changing. So we come to the residual value. Residual value, we are told by the question here, it is 2.5. So you say equals this one. You enter. And then it is only going to change huku. So let's copy this one straight on up to here. Oh, okay. I needed to have put it, I needed to have put this one as, it's not changing, F4. Yeah. So that this one, oh, sorry. My mouse today is guiding me where I don't want. So quick to autofill. I want to copy here this way. Yes, that way. So we copy there. But this one now, where we have the change, is going to be equal to this times, open the brackets, 1 plus this value here, close the brackets and enter. So that is what we are going to have. Let's go to the annual units. Annual units here we are told is equals to the annual number of units. So this one we cannot pick from the cell. We can't pick, so we just type. It is 30,000. Just 30,000. So this one is equal to this. It's not changing. But when I come here, this is going to be equal to this times, open the brackets, 1 plus this one, close the brackets, enter. Then when I come here, it's going to be equal to this. And I press F4 so that it does not change. It does not change. Here they are not changing. So I, hii mouse yangu najisikia tu kwa autofill. Just showing me how to autofill, and I don't want to autofill. Eh. Today my mouse inasumbua. Okay, so we have the units there. Let's come to selling price. Selling price is equals to, we are given a figure there, so we can say equals to this one here. And we can press F4 so that does not change. I'm able to copy kidogo up to here. Up to here. But when I come here, it is changing. So equals this value here times, open the brackets, 1 plus this value here, close the brackets, enter hivyo. Then I come here, these others are not changing, so it is, I copy just this one, and I put F4. Then I come and copy it here for those other years. The variable cost per unit, we are given, so it is to say equals this one, and we enter. I should have put F4 so that does not change, and it enables me to copy up to here. Then when I come here, I say equals this one times, open the brackets, 1 plus this one, close the brackets, enter there. And then nikikuja hapa, here it's not changing, so it is equal to this, and I put a 4 so that I'm able to copy here. Hii mouse yangu utashinda ukinisumbua leo. Okay. The fixed cost. Fixed costs we are given. So this is equals to this value here. I should have put it fixed F4 so that I'm able to copy up to where it is not changing. Up to here is not changing, but here equals this times, open the brackets, you say 1 plus this one here, close the brackets, enter. Then here equals this one, enter. There I didn't. Project life, kila mahali ni 5 years. So I just put 5. And then this one I just copy all the way to that point. Good. So let's now start the computations. The other computations, we are told to get the total revenue. This one, total revenue should be equal to, we have said it is A, the number of units sold, multiplied by the selling price. The selling price is gear. So you say equals. Then this formula, we copy all the way mpaka hapa. We are able to get the revenue there. Let's go for the variable costs. Collins, are we together at that point?
Yes.
Let's now get the total variable costs. The formula is equals to get the units here, multiplied by the variable cost per unit here. Press enter. So you copy here all the way up to this point. So we have the variable cost. Let's get the contribution. Now this,
can you repeat the total variable cost?
okay, the total variable cost we have said is equals to, you get the number of units here, multiply by the variable cost per unit, this one, the 500. Then you press enter. And then you come here, you drag this so that you are able to fill the values up to that point. That fine?
Yes.
That's fine, Collins, eh?
Yes, yes.
Haya, tuende kwa contribution. Contribution is equal to revenue minus the variable costs. That's contribution that way. So we copy the formula again. Copy the formula up that point. So the net cash flow is like what we call the net profit. It is the contribution minus the fixed cost. So we are going to say it is equal to this contribution, you minus the fixed cost, which was here, that way. Then now this one, we copy all the way to here. So we want to get the what? We want to get the net cash flow, the present value. But you see now this project is running for 5 years. So every year for the base, we'll be having this amount here. So this is the present value of the annuity. So this is how we are going to get it. So we come here, put the formula. The formula for annuity is equals to, you type present value, PV. Nakupea PV there. PV. I forgot to put the interest rate. So this one we have first of all to do away with it. Let's come here. Let's come here and insert. Insert either above or below, wherever you shall insert. It does not affect us. Interest rate. Interest rate. We are told it is 12%. So just insert it somewhere. Just insert it somewhere. 12%. Are we there already?
Yes.
Okay, so if you are there, let's now come and put the formula here. So the formula will be equal to, you type PV, you can find it here, you double click. So you can see it is asking for the rate. So the rate is this one, 12. Then you press comma. It is asking for the number of periods. The number of periods is this 5 years. Put a comma. Then it's asking for the present value, the amount that we are charging. So because we want it to be a positive value, you put negative. You put negative this one. Hii ndio tunatafutiria hii. That way. Negative that one. Close the brackets. Then press enter. So this one, we can just convert it into a number. But with the decimals to tell your currency. Or if you want to put the currency, you can put our Kenya shillings. We know how to. So you remember how to put the currency?
Yes.
Okay. So that formula, we can now copy. We can now copy. So that is the new thing that I was saying. Okay, yeah. So that is the present value. So let's get the present value of the residual. Now, this residual will be received 5 years. Will be received 5 years. So I think we'll have to do a working here because it will be this amount here times 1 plus 0.12 raised to power -5. That's how we are going to get it. So let's see whether we could work it manually. Let's see whether we can work it manually or we have to put it somewhere there. So you say equals the cash flow. Cash flow is this residual times, open the brackets, 1 plus this rate here, the 12, close the brackets. Then you raise to power, so shift raise to power, negative this 5 here. Press enter. So it has worked. You do not need to use the function for the power. Have you followed that, Collins?
Yes.
Okay, so we just copy then. Just copy up to that point. So if you want now the net present value, the net present value now should be equal to these present values that are there, this one, plus this one, minus the initial cash flow, the initial cost, that one, the initial cash flow. So again, we copy quickly that way. So that gives us the net present values. So this one, we can even make it bold. This column, these values, because it's our final result. Yeah. So we have the net present values there. So what was the examiner looking for? It was saying compute the base value, net present value, 10 marks. So the 10 marks, therefore this one, we have gotten it. Then carry out a sensitivity analysis of NPV and adverse variance of all the inputs, 10 marks. So again, we have the 10 marks here for this. Then C, prepare an appropriate chart to indicate the different NPVs for each scenario. Okay, so we can, what you're going to do, we will have, let's copy this one here. Let's copy this one. And paste here, and we paste special. So that does not affect us. Then we come here. We copy and paste special. So this one we can do away with it. Okay. Now these ones we can select and then come and say insert the recommended chart. So we can take this one. This is the recommended one. Let's say okay. So we can bring it down here. And expand kidogo. Expand kidogo. So this one, we can change the title. The examiner wanted a graph called what? Prepare an appropriate chart to indicate different NPVs for each scenarios. So we can just call it NPV. So we are typing, we are changing this one. NPV scenario analysis. Yeah. So that is all. That is all that we have. Okay, so are we okay with that, Collins?
Yeah.
Good. Anything new umeona hapo?
Yes, initially I thought that we were supposed to calculate each year separately, year 1, year 0 to year 5.
Just for the first one, for the base.
Yes, for the base, then we do the adverse part of it separately.
Yeah, but now you have seen how it should have been done, eh?
Yes.
Okay, good. So that is the way it should be done. So we can now quickly go to the next question, question number 23. This one is also equally simpler. Even if we don't finish to draw the graph, hiyo nitakuachia. Okay, so inasema Delaware Limited would like to evaluate its performance for the next 5 years, commencing from the year 2023, based on the company's revised strategy. The following details relate to its main product, the rotors, and estimated changes in prices and costs per annum. So we have the average annual demand, all those things. So we are told to prepare the forecast statement of profit and loss given the current projections. Determine the break-even levels in units and revenues for each of the next 5 years. Then using suitable graphs. Okay. So when they mention the break-even point, lazima tujue tutajipanga namna gani. So here we can have the solution here. Solution. See, even this one is new, eh? See, there is something here you run.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Higher. So in computing the break-even point, we will need to get I might just copy these figures the way they are. Let me copy. Let's copy these ones here. Here at number 26. We paste them there. These are details, we call them details. I want to have the growth rate ikiwa ya kwanza hapa. Hapa. Yes. The growth rate. Then I copy the year 2023 here. Special. So now we are told to do the next 5 years. So 2024, 2025, 2026, 2027, 2028. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this one we make it bold. So the average unit, so I can have my figures. What else will I require? Let me see. We have the selling price per unit, direct material, direct labor, variable selling and distribution cost per unit. We can change these, eh? Hebu kuja hapa kwa variable production overhead per unit, you insert a row there. Then this one, the variable cost per unit, you cut it. You come and paste it here. Come and paste it there. Yeah, just a minute, coins. Okay, so nilikuwa nataka tuipange hivyo so that tukuje hapa tukishapata the per unit, the variable cost per unit, tutakuja hapa tutafute, ama hata hii naweza iweka let's delete this one. Let's delete this one. I think now I have rearranged. Okay. So what else do we require? I will require contribution margin per unit. Let's get that. Contribution margin per unit. I will also get something called contribution margin ratio. Then I will need to get a figure called total contribution. Total contribution. Before I get total contribution, I will have required to get either can come. But let me start with the, or I can, because I already have contribution margin per unit. Hii ni MA haina shida. Total revenue either can start. After I get that, I need to get the net profit. Total net profit. Then the examiner here is asking us to get the break-even levels in units. So break-even point in units. Break-even point in units. Then break-even point in revenues. Yeah, break-even point in revenues. Okay. So I think nikiwa na hiyo nitakuwa nimejibu up to this part B. So let's put these values. So I want to select hii space yote mpaka hapa, my values to be in decimals. Okay. Can remove the, if I remove the percentages, go. Good. Are we together at that point?
Yes, Mwalimu.
So let's now autofill this. Let's fill this one. The average annual demand in units. It is going to be equal to, because these are growth rate, it will be this times, open the brackets, 1 plus this one. And because this one will not be changing, this one will not be changing, we put F4 and close the brackets. Then we copy up to that point. So that means here we must expand. Tukuje hapa, we do the same thing, equals this times, open the brackets, 1 plus this, F4, close the brackets, enter. Let's copy up to that point. Kuja kwa hii direct equals this times, open the brackets, this one. Oh, sorry. Although it can start, no problem. Si lazima uanze na 1 plus this one, F4, close the brackets, then we autofill. Oh, sorry. First of all, enter. Ndio nikuja hapa. Autofill that way. The same case equals this times 1 plus this, F4, close the brackets, enter. You have to fill up to that point, equals this times, open the brackets, 1 plus this, F4, close the brackets. This one, the same thing, equals this one times, open the brackets, 1 plus this one, F4, close the brackets. So we enter that way. Then we come here, equals this amount times, open the brackets, 1 plus this F4. Equals this value here times, open the brackets, 1 plus this F4, close the brackets, enter that way, equals this value times, open the brackets, 1 plus this one, F4, close the brackets, enter, copy up to that point. Higher contribution margin per unit. Contribution margin per unit, it is always given as a selling price. The selling price, this one, minus the variable cost per unit. So the variable cost per unit, we have this material, we have this labor, we have this variable selling, and we have this variable production. Yeah. Contribution margin per unit is given as the selling price, you minus the variable cost. So let's copy this one. Imeanza ile maneno ya kukibia kwa autofill. Yeah, so those are the contribution margins. Contribution margin ratio. Contribution margin ratio is given as the contribution margin you divide by the selling price. Contribution margin you divide by the selling price. Contribution margin ratio is the contribution margin you divide by the price. So we come all the way up to that point. That's contribution. Higher total contribution. Total contribution should be equal to the number of units that have been sold here times the contribution per unit, times the contribution per unit. The number of units times the contribution per unit. So once again, we drag that way. We drag that way. I repeat that.
Yes, contribution margin ratio.
Contribution margin ratio is equal to ama niongeze hapa kwa narration, equals to contribution margin you divide by the price. You divide by the price. You divide by the price. So tukakuja hapa tukasema equals this contribution margin, this one, you divide by the selling price, which is here. You enter. then you copy all the way to the end. Is that fine? Is that
Mwalimu,
fine?
I am lost.
In computing contribution margin ratio.
Computing the total margin rate, the total contribution.
Okay, so total contribution nayo, if I come back here niongezee kwa narration, it is the contribution margin times units. So sasa utakuja useme this one is equals to, uchukue the units. Naona hizi annual demand in units.
Yes.
So you say that one times the contribution margin per unit, this one. Those two. Then you press enter. Then you come here and copy. So is that fine?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Then we do the same thing here in revenue. We do the same thing with revenue. So revenue, utachukua the units sold times the selling price. Actually, there was no need of including revenue, but now that they had said we do the profit, it's okay. No, actually there is need. There's need for the, no need. It's okay. So, umepata hiyo 25 million?
Yes.
Let's copy all the way up to here. Net profit. Net profit is total contribution minus the variable, minus the fixed cost. So net profit will be equal to the total contribution, this one. You now minus the fixed cost, and we have 3 fixed costs. So kuna hii ya fixed production. Then there is this one of annual administration. And there is this one. There are 3. We are there, eh?
Yes, yes.
So if we are there, let's copy this one that way. Now we need to get the break-even point. Sijui whether let's add, badala ya kuchukua hizi total zikiwa kwa formula, maybe we can give them as separate. Kuja hapa upoint kwa total net profit and you insert a row there. No. Ukiwa kwa break-even, you insert. Nataka ikuwe hapa between total net profit and the break-even point in units, and we call it total fixed costs. Have you managed?
Yes, yes.
Okay, ni kama mimi sikuwa nime autofill hii profit. Let me autofill. Me autofill. Profit, and this one we can make it bold. Is a major figure, the major result. Okay. Nichukulia bold Leo my mouse is misbehaving. Yeah, but haya. Tuko kwa total fixed costs. I want us to combine, although there was no need, but at least ndio ionekane, equals these three. So there is this, plus this, plus this. You can either pick them that way, or you can use the the sum equals. So let's copy here. Those are the total fixed costs. So the break-even point in units, maybe I can specify the formula, is equal to fixed costs. Fixed costs, you divide by contribution margin. Contribution margin. And while I'm on that, I can also give this one equals to fixed costs. You divide by contribution margin ratio. Can expand. Hii nataka ikuwe expanded kidogo hivi. Yeah. Haya, so kama tumefanya hivyo, sasa nitakuja hapa niseme my break even point in units should be equal to my fixed cost, ndio hii. I divide by contribution margin per unit, ndio hii, equals. And then you out of come here and out of fill. Hello? Yeah, sorry for that disruption. So now these units, they are not supposed to have decimals. So let's remove the decimals. Units should be whole figures. Yeah, that way. And remove the decimals. But hata ukiacha ikiwa na decimals, you can't be penalized. But for practice purpose, you cannot advise the client on decimals. Higher. The break even in revenues. The formula is already given there. It is equal to the fixed cost. So we say equals to fixed cost here. We divide by contribution margin ratio. Ndio hii. Then you press enter. Sasa this one, you copy. You copy all the way to here. So revenue can have, we can also remove the decimals. Let's remove decimals. that way. And if you want Madoido, if you have time, you can put Kenya shillings. You can put Kenya shillings. Let's put, if you have time, you can come here to the currency. You tell us this about currency. Okay. Yangu na kusubua. Currency. So you come here, Kenya shillings. The decimals hakuna. So okay. Yeah. So that's okay. Although now kama unaweka hapa, it is also good maybe uweke kwa hizi zingine zote except the units, but you can as well leave it. You can as well leave it. Okay, let's leave it. Let's undo that. Let's undo that so that our work does not appear. Good. So I think tumejibu what the examiner wanted. We determine the break-even levels in units. We prepare the forecast. Now they want us to do suitable graphs. We present a summary of revenues, profits, and break-even for each of the years. So what we can do, let's take this column here. Then you can press Control. Tumeulizwa revenue. So we come and pick this one also. Tumeulizwa profit. So we come and pick this one also. Tumeulizwa nani mwingine? Break-even revenues. We come and pick this one also. Right click, copy. That cannot be used on multiple selections. Okay, so we have to do one at a time. One at a time. So copy. Let's come here. Paste special so that does not subua. Tuchukue hiyo ingine wanataka ni revenues. So we come and take this one here. Come and paste here. Special. Mouse yangu leo. Subua. The next thing they want is profits. So I come here. And so I hope I have not destroyed my work. Copy, paste special. What else do they want? The break-even revenues. Paste special there. So I can do away with this one. So I select these values here. I come and insert the recommended chart. So maybe they are recommending the right chart. Let's put the right chart. The right chart, this one. Here they want to recommend. So we put that one. So you can change this title or you can leave it. Maybe we call it break-even analysis chart. Yeah. So this column inasubua hii. Hii ndio inaleta hii space kubwa hii, tungefaa tuitoe. But still okay. Still okay, we can be able to see, but ingefaa nitoe hiyo nilete hizi hapa. If I say cut and I paste here. Then this one, I cut and I paste here. These ones, I cut. And I paste there. This one, I cut and I paste. Yeah. So you can see our graph has improved. Your gap may talk. So are we okay at that point, Collins?
Yes, mwalimu.
Good. So instead of tumesonga, that is question 23. Aya, now question 20. Naona tumebakisha 15 minutes. Can they be enough to start the other one? Ama tuingoje next time.
Yes, maybe we can do it tomorrow.
Yeah. Tomorrow I will not be available. Can we have the class on Friday?
It's okay.
Yeah, please. Because tomorrow I will not be able. We can have it on Friday. But hii question 24 ni kama tu ile 24 ingine ya last year, the last exam. So you can also be attempting it. Ndio tukikuja tufanye hiyo. Si uliniambia wewe unafanya audit, si tax, si ndio?
Yes, audit.
Okay. So that means tukifanya hiyo tunaruka kwa pepa ya December ya last sitting. Na inayo hata kama they are making these exams simpler as time goes by and by.
Mwalimu.
Okay. Yes.
Is it possible we can get some knowledge on how to calculate these break-even points? Because we did management accounting way back in section 1, when it was in section 1.
Okay, the knowledge that you require is just first of all this one. These are the formulas that you require to know. Naona hii format venye nimeipanga, alafu tukikuja kwa hii the contribution margin ratio, contribution. The next one is maybe how to draw the break-even chart, which I think we had done, which is also represented by this one. But if you want us to have a different chart for break-even, we can still have it.
No, it's okay.
Kuna swali, let me remind you so that maybe you can refer. Kuna swali haikuwa imeuliza the break-even chart, lakini I think tulimaliza mapema nikasema niwaonyeshe how to do the break-even chart. Let me see ilikuwa ya mwaka gani. Yes, this paper of where we began our revision, tulianza revision ya December 2022. If you still have your notes for December 2022, question number 25. Question number 25. I think it was about regression, but I think for some reasons nikafikiria niwaonyesha how to draw the break-even chart. Yeah, it's slightly different from this one, but the components are the same because what you require, you require the total revenue, you require the fixed costs, the total cost, and the profit. Then you insert the chart. So here too, the data is already here. Then you insert. I gave you the procedures, so you can be able to refer.
Okay, mwalimu.
Yeah, ikikusumbua unikumbushe next time, we can still do it. Thank you. So then we can call it a lesson at that point and hope to meet on Friday. On Friday, our usual time. Ningependa by the time we sit for the exam, tukue tumemaliza hiyo karatasi ya December. And I'm happy that now you are seeing the questions are familiar. Confidence inaenda juu, si ndio, Collins?
At least sahizi venye tulikuwa.
Sawa, so you can have a good day. Then we meet on Friday. Thank you.
Mwalimu.